right, now that I got the front of the cab and underneath all done and I painted the tree work as you saw in the last video, and I was actually asking you guys what you thought about me painting this frame. Well, I haven't released that video yet as I'm recording this, and I don't know what you guys think. I'm going to paint it anyway. So I just decided, you know what, I'm right here. I might as well just do it. The steam cleaner should take all of this heavy grease off of here, and it should clean it up really well. I've had really good experience with steam cleaning in the past, and it does work really nice to cut through all that stuff. The engine and tranny actually are not bad at all. They're not grimy and greasy. As I grind away the final components of the motorhome, let us bid farewell and good riddance. Been working here a little bit after work, and we've got everything pretty well stripped off this frame as far as I need to go anyway. I ground off all the old, what was left of the motorhome, so all that stuff is gone now. All the original brackets back here, all those on the ground back there. Frame's all cleaned up, ground up. As you can clearly see, that is not a steam cleaner. So I called a local rental yard that I've been dealing with for years here in the valley, and unfortunately they were bought out by a huge corporation. And when I called them to see if they had a steam cleaner available, and they said yes they did, and they told me it was $150 for 24 hours, I was kind of like, ooh, man, that's expensive. So I couldn't find one that was close to me, so I called them again a day later to reserve it. The price went up to $200 for whatever reason. I was like, I was told $150, and then she's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's a $200 for 24 hours, and it's $150 for 4 hours. I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do it. I just didn't want to spend that kind of money. I didn't want to feel rushed renting something for 4 hours either. So anyway, got Jeff's pressure washer. I hosed this thing down with about 4 cans of oven cleaner and then a bunch of that purple power on top of that. So we made a nice little concoction here on this thing. So we got a good soak on it. Now we're just hitting it with the pressure washer, as you see, and so far it seems like it's coming out pretty good, but let's take a look at the end result here in a minute. All right, I think we got it. Luckily, it's a nice warm morning this morning. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees today, so it's a perfect day to do this. All right, it looks like everything, for the most part, got just a little bit of residual here left over, but I'm not going to worry about it. But for the most part, all of the heavy stuff is off, and it looks pretty darn good. I wasn't sure if it was going to get it all off, but it did. But otherwise, I'm really happy with that. That's going to accept paint really, really nice. And then just a quick glance here at the rest of the frame. Rear axle came out nice and clean. Everything looks good. As long as the grease and oil is off everything, I'm happy with it. And now what I'll do is once I get it all painted, I'll pump everything full of grease to push any water out of there. Make sure I don't have any water trapped inside. All right, she's clean enough anyway. This, like I said, this thing was not dirty at all. It wasn't greasy. This thing's only got 30,000 miles on it, so it didn't have enough time to leak. All right, guys, she's all dried off for the most part anyway. And it's back on the ground again. I got the wheels cleaned up a little better anyway. I was thinking about painting it out there on the driveway, but it's pretty warm. It's gonna be upper 80s. And I don't want that paint to flash off that fast, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it back here. We'll get this thing all set up today. Today's Friday, and then I'll just shoot it tomorrow morning. I'll go ahead and start disassembling this thing and getting it ready for paint as well. I thought it was funny, I took a little lunch break and I was looking at some of the comments from last week's video about painting this thing. And I put up a short yesterday or day before yesterday, and pretty much everybody in the short was like, paint it, paint it, paint it. Seems like 50-50 on the last video as far as what you guys, as far as painting it was concerned. I'm definitely just gonna paint it. Now that I've kind of stripped that frame and everything, there's a lot of it that kind of went down to bare metal now and stuff, so I might as well just do it. Because believe me, I struggled with the idea of putting a freshly coated frame underneath of the crusty old truck, you know. I don't mind that look because I am gonna rub this body down with one of those, you know, sweet patina type things. Not a high gloss, just kind of a matte finish, you know. So it'll bring out that color a little bit more. I think it'll balance out really well. I think it'll look good. I'm in this deep, I might as well just do it. So, you know, this is still a budget build. Trust me, you know. I'm not spending a fortune on this stuff. Paint's not terribly expensive, but all right, I got the motor all stripped down. You can see it's really clean. This thing wasn't dirty at all. I ended up pulling the pan off the transmission and draining that because that thing was just pissing everywhere. So that's all drained. Fluid actually looks pretty good in there. I didn't see anything weird, so we're in good shape. But yeah, you can see a lot of this buildup. This isn't grease and oil. This is that undercoating. All this stuff right in here is all over this engine. It's kind of a shame, really. They kind of ruined these valve covers when they did that. I'll pull them off and try to clean them up as best I can. All right, go ahead and call me a sellout. I'm painting everything, making it nice. I can't help it. I got to do it. Let's see, give myself enough room here. Turns easy with no weight on it. That looks good there. Let's go straight in. Just want to get it just inside the gate. It's gonna look good painted, I can't wait. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah. Just don't hit the studs, that's all. Should just roll right into it. Yep, we're good. I bought these things for supporting an RV off Amazon. They're nice, but I really don't recommend using them to support too much weight. Okay. Yeah, see, they're a little wobbly, so you gotta be really careful. I'll leave the jack there for now. All right. I'm just gonna avoid all of this stuff right now. I'll just touch this up with shake and shoot later is what I'll do, more than likely. And then I'll do the same on the rear. I'll just go ahead and leave it for right now. And then as far as the front is concerned, I'm just gonna paint it all. And then once I do the core support and everything, because I know I gotta cut the frame off a little bit, we'll just touch all that stuff up later. Yeah, there's still a bunch of work to do to this frame. No, not a bunch of work. Mostly the front end and then the back end of it and whatnot. Anything else I'm gonna do to it, it's probably gonna be drilled and bolted anyway. All right, well, I think I'm gonna paint this tomorrow. It's getting, well, I don't know, I guess it's only 2 o'clock. I'm getting wore out. I'm kind of tired, honestly. I might go down and get some paint for the engine. Maybe we'll just do this, we'll do the engine today and get that over with. And then I'll get all the spots primed on the frame. I gotta get all that done, and then tomorrow we can just focus on painting the frame. All right, I'm ready to throw a coat of paint on this engine. Are you guys ready? Just go with me on it, trust me. I see it completed in my head and it's gonna look good. All right, here we go. I can hear it now. Okay, why blue? So I think it'd be kind of cool to pay tribute to the original 6-cylinder blue color. And I don't know, I think it'll look cool. I just don't like engines painted black. I don't care for it at all. I like my engines with a little color. This is Craigslist rebuild right here, buddy. All right, feel free to light me up, I don't care. Yeah, and then I'll paint all the brackets and everything black. I'll redo the valve covers and all that'll be black. It'll look really good underneath the truck. This way too, you can find if you have oil leaks or anything else, it's easy to find. I'm gonna paint the transmission as well. I was gonna get some silver paint, but I've got a bunch of black left over and I'll just hit it with that. Yeah, a little tribute to the old engine, the old stove bolt blue, you know, that's a really similar color to the old stove bolts too. All right, good morning guys. Early Saturday morning. Getting ready to start painting here. So last night before I went in, I went ahead and painted a bunch of brackets on that engine and stuff, trying to get some of that stuff out of the way and get it done. And then while it was still quiet this morning, I was trying to be quiet, I went ahead and assembled everything. So check it out. So I just dusted everything with a black coat of paint and valve covers and pulleys and everything. Got everything all put back together again. Then I just hit the tranny in black real quick, just to make it look a little bit better. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Looks good. All right, now come on. You can't look me in the face and tell me that doesn't look a heck of a lot better than it did. Now we can get onto the frame. Let me grab the paint, show you what we're gonna do. And I gotta get going on this. It's supposed to be really windy. It's been windy here the last few days. So I wanna try to get this thing knocked out as quick as I can before the wind starts picking up. It's already starting to get a little bit breezy. I just went ahead and scuffed the whole frame down with some Scotch-Brite real quick, and then I hit it with some wax and grease remover. So we've got that ready to go. And yes, I did use wax and grease remover. So that means we went a little bit above and beyond shake and shoot. Let me show you what we're doing. So I just got my little makeshift table here set and ready to go. I got my cheap little Harbor Freight gun, and what we're gonna use, went down to the local paint shop here in town, and they have this satin hot rod black paint down there. And you do mix it with a hardener and activator. I have used this stuff before. My Mercury Cougar that I used to have, I fixed the rusty roof on that thing. It had a vinyl roof, and instead of putting another vinyl roof on it, I sprayed it with that stuff, and that stuff is really nice. It sprays nice and it looks great. On the gun, I use these throwaway deals, these refillable thing. Well, not refillable, but it's a paint system from Harbor Freight, and you just basically put it in the cup, and then when you're done, you throw it away. It makes it clean up really simple. So the frame's all ready. It's all wiped down, Scotch-Brited, wax and greased removed, and I think basically we're ready to go. All right, so I know this is probably just a little bit above shake and shoot or roll-on paint. I really don't like to do roll-on paint. I just can't do it. I need to spray it. Something about it I just don't like. Now that stuff it was like 60 bucks a quart for the kit. Now to buy shake and shoot, I mean, shake and shoot cans now are $15 to $17 a can. I don't know, this thing's probably gonna take what, 5-6 cans or something like that. I bought 2 quarts, so it's really not that much more. And I already had all of the spray stuff. I already had the cups and the guns, and I already had all that stuff from previous projects. The end result, I think, is just gonna be a lot better. Anything with a hardener in it as well is just gonna hold up much better too. And, all right, so if you've never used these things before, it comes with the main cup here that goes on the gun. And then on the gun, you have to get this adapter for it. What you do is you take the refills here, and this is like a soft plastic material. And then you just drop that in the cup. And then you put these caps on here, and these already have screens in them to filter. And then these go on top. Like that. And then you screw this on the top, and then you just put this right on the gun. Super simple. So let's see, 4 to 1. Put the lid on it. Screw it down. All right, now you take your cup. You just put it right on top. There it goes. You snap that on top, then you give that a twist and it locks it in place. And then you flip it around and you're ready to spray. right, I think we got her. I'm gonna let that flash off, change my battery, and I'll be back with you and show you once it dries. All right, guys, it looks pretty darn good. It's good enough for this thing, that's for sure. Yeah, it turned out nice. I'm happy with it. That paint spray is really, really nice. A lot of this is from that original undercoating. I just went right over it. I wasn't gonna bother trying to get that stuff off. I tried to get the rear suspension and diff the best I could, but I might have to go underneath the diff a little bit with some shake and shoot just to touch it up. I know that I missed some of it on the bottom, but for the most part, I got it. Basically, I just put one good coat on the inside of everything and then underneath, and then I put a couple coats on the outside where you're gonna see everything. That was my main concern, was making sure the outside of the frame rails from like where the cab is gonna be back, you know, make sure that stuff was covered really well. I like painting, but when I do it, I get all stressed out because I've had bad experiences in the past just from lack of experience. Well, I still don't know what I'm doing, but where stuff sets up on you really fast, and because it's Arizona too, and I'm so used to doing stuff in the heat, and where, you know, stuff will dry on you in like 10 minutes if you're not careful. So that stuff says it'll last like an hour or something in the can mixed, so it's like I have plenty of time. And I think I pretty much got all the suspension components pretty good. Looks like I did anyway. And we got over here good too. And again, this is the original undercoating you're seeing here. I just went right over it. I'm excited. That feels really good to have that done. I'm gonna let this cure for a little bit. It's actually not too bad already as it is. I mean, to the touch, it already feels dry, but we'll let it sit for a little bit longer. Well, I just threw a quick and dirty paint job on all the calipers and hubs and everything. Got all that done. I had enough engine paint, so I went ahead and just shot everything with engine paint. Then I just wiped the rotors down with lacquer thinner to clean them all up. Okay, guys, got the wheels on this thing. I'm just gonna push it back a little bit. I gotta pull the gantry back to... Whew, I don't like doing that. This thing is so high. It's a beautiful day. It's a little windy, but it's beautiful, warm. Listening to a little World Series of Pro Mod on YouTube. Good stuff. Okay, let's spin this bad boy around. Do-si-do. It's gotta go higher, maybe? Nope, looks like we're okay. Just barely. Go back just a little. Oh wait, forward I mean. There we go, right there. This bolt's got to go in this way. It's got to go down. And this one can go in this way because of the starter. Put the transmission bolt in. All right, now I can get this stuff out of here. All right. Smile, you're on YouTube. Oh, that looks pretty damn good, guys. I like it. Yep. Yeah, it's just gonna tie everything together really nice. And then once that gets a little age on it and stuff over time, you know, it's gonna dull it out a little bit so it won't look so, you know, when you paint stuff that's new and it's fresh, it's like, whoa, it's kind of like in your face, you know, when you paint your house or something like that. But once that kind of settles in and gets some weather on it, whatnot, it's gonna disappear. It'll be great, you know. It'll go right along with that body just fine. So nice, clean, and it makes it nice too, having to work on this thing. Everything's nice and clean. You know what that means now, though. Looks like I'm gonna have to paint these bad boys because that's not gonna fly. No big deal. I'll probably just shoot them with the same paint. I've got a little bit left over, and I'll just sand them and scuff them real quick. And I got to pressure test this one still. I still haven't done that. Get that done. We'll get these things painted up, get them looking good. And then all the exhaust and everything as well, I'm gonna paint. I'm just gonna paint it like I did my Maverick exhaust. I'm gonna paint it that black, that high heat black, I think. I was kind of hesitant on doing this because I was worried it was gonna take me a couple weeks to do it, but I knocked this thing out in one weekend and got it done. Once you see it all together and it ties everything in together, I can see it in my head. It's gonna look really good, I think. All right, guys, that'll do it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. All right, and then coming up, I'm just gonna start assembling this thing, start getting everything put together on it. We can start getting this thing ready to put the cab back on, and I can take care of all the brakes and get the tree work back on it and everything, and start buttoning up a lot of the little stuff anyway. I'm not sure if you'll get a video next week. Wife's been kind of bugging me to go hang out with her on a weekend, so I might need to take care of that. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. One of the big things that's left on the cab is doing that rust. I've got to get those corners fixed. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. My plan was to put the cab back on the frame and take care of the rust that way and fix it on the frame. But now I don't know if I will. I might just leave it on the table and we'll fix it there. But I don't know, we'll see how I feel. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.